Back at it. I played Scribe again because we want to. Joined here by TT, exec producer. This is askrobett. We have questions that have been sent through. We can ask them. Are you there, TT? Join the show.
I am here.
You're in.
Let's have a look here. What do we got? All right. First one. There's a few here to get through. Amanda from Auckland. When should you call time on something? I'm assuming she means like a business or a venture or something like that. Am I being resilient by sticking it out or stupid?
Depending on the timing, but most time resiliency is sort of shielded as naivety if they don't look at the hard numbers of a certain thing. Let's say you're going out and the timing's not working. One thing you need to think about is the market listening, because the market has no emotion and the market has no feeling, and the market is unemotional to you, your product, or your feelings. And if the market ain't popping with what you're providing, or the people that you'd think would want it are clearly telling you they don't want it because they are not either engaging with it at all, it might be time to listen. One of the biggest dangers that happens, though, is the stubbornness and arrogance of entrepreneurs and business owners misconstrued the market saying no for their stubbornness. We say, I'm going to fight through and it's going to be sweet. I can just keep going and going and going. The answer for this one is self-awareness, to look yourself in the mirror and saying, do you have a good product market fit? Are what you provide into the ecosystem actually relevant and wanted? And a lot of the times when the numbers are saying no, the market is saying no, that unfortunately is time where you need to either repivot, tweak, or move on. So that would be the thinking there.
Just on that though, how do you know? Because we hear so many stories of entrepreneurs, successful people saying, everybody told me I couldn't do it. Everyone said no. They said, you can't do that. And then I did it, and it's almost a cliche story. How do you know when you are the visionary and other people can't see what you can see? Or like you said, when you're being stubborn and you're not listening to the market? Because
you need to think about the intersection of your talent into the timing of the marketplace. For example, if you know that the market's going to a certain spot, so say, for example, in one of my companies, it was digital video production stuff. I knew that all the TV money was coming into the digital landscape. I knew that in the case of 2 to 3 years, all of the energy and money was going to come into where I was playing. So I strategically positioned myself in the spot where I knew the hockey puck was going. It's like the Richie McCaw documentary. He wasn't the fastest on the field, but he could get to where he knew the ball was going. Positioning you in the spot of where the puck is going is one of the biggest things of all time. That's timing and also then a little bit of luck. But the majority of people are usually too stubborn to really see it for what it is. But in some certain spots, when they've got it, that definitely the outliers, they go on that own little track. And I've done the same thing similar. But at the end of the day, if the market says no, then the answer is no. Because you have to. If it's not selling, you don't have the cash, so you're stuffed anyway, right?
Yeah, totally. Amanda, I hope that answered your question. Next one is from Danny in Christchurch. A little bit more fun, I think. Robett, he says, Robett, what is the meaning of life?
Fun.
Good luck. What
do you mean a little bit of fun? That's going more deceptively deep than we had potentially thought. What is the meaning of life? Obviously have fun and smiling, but I do have a thing which I use, and it's called life regrettage percentage. And what a life regrettage percentage is when I was 30 years old, I got asked at a conference, hey, Ramir, what's like your biggest regret? And I said, my biggest regret was I think I could have got to where I was at 30 by the time I was 27 if I didn't have as much ego and arrogance and alpha male bullshit in my early 20s, thinking I could do everything myself. So at the age of 30, I could have got there at 27. So I lost 3 years. So if you divide the 3 by the 10, by the 30, I would have had a life regrettage percentage at 30 years old of 10% because I wasted 3 years doing dumb shit. So I would rather that. So the way I think about it with the meaning of life for me or time is I think of what do I choose to do that brings me smiles that's not going to add to my life regrettage percentage. So the life regrettage is the overarching time, most important number for you.
Yes. That's okay. What's it sitting at right now?
Well, when I was 30, it was 10%. And now that I feel I've played catch up a bunch and I've probably over-indexed, especially on the personal inferno time through COVID and stuff, I'm totally stoked. I'm at zero. It's like, life's good. I'm happy. And I choose to put my time where I want to be. You know, like I could be anywhere in the world right now, but I choose to be here with you, TT, on a Saturday doing this. Why? Because I love it. I enjoy it. You know, I've done, you know, this is episode 304. Like I genuinely feel that with my time, as soon as you're doing things by choice, your life becomes so much more enjoyable because you're choosing your time and your energy to be in those spots. So
Okay.
I play the game of what's the meaning of life? Smile and do good things and help. Don't be an asshole and do and have fun and enjoy it, because life is definitely short. Is one of the things. But you know, life regrettage percentage is how I play.
All right, Danny, there you go. That's the meaning of life. And then we've got Doug in Wanaka. Big one here. Doug says, first off, I just want to congratulate you for your free hugs gig. Awesome thing to do. Just explain to me, I'm not aware of this, Robett. What was the free hugs gig?
Basically, it was the concept of, you know, if someone's having a shitty day, if they need a hug, offer one. Pretty simple.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's
it's like,
really cool.
hey, do you need a hug?
All right. Well, congratulations from me as well on that. That's very nice. Awesome thing to do and needed very much by so many. Doug goes on to say, my big bugbear at the moment is people like yourself jetting all over the world, telling others how to run their business and make more money, etc., etc. But Doug goes on, the planet is in the shit environmentally because of us stupid humans and our use and abuse attitudes of the planet. What are you going to do? I think he means you there. What are you going to do to educate people and stop the stupidity from continuing?
Oh, I mean, I like the subtle jab. Appreciate that. Well crafted. I like the intent. And I also think there's some actual depth and relevance to where he's going, which is the point of when everyone talks about, you know, I actually put a post up about this, you know, everyone talks about peace, but we've still got war. Everyone talks about, you know, balance, but we're still so over-indexed on stuff. But specifically when it comes to stupid humans doing stupid things, abusing the planet with business and stuff, there's something going on our side, which I think is good. The power of the consumer is starting to choose where they allocate their capital, and the expectations of brands that they engage with is getting elevated to a point where there's almost an expectation of good that needs to be done for more than just the business. For example, what are you doing to give back? How are you making this thing more equal? They're even looking at, when you're looking at potential tech players with, say, you know, blockchain and different bits and pieces, how ethical are our goods that we're getting? Can you show us the end to end of where this is coming from? And is this ethically and morally good? So the answer for that commercially is consumers as a whole, a lot more of the majority are starting to vote with their dollar. And one of the things I probably would say is consumers as a collective have way more power than you think when they start choosing where to spend the dollar collectively. Because those businesses that they bitch about and those corporations that they give shit and all this other stuff, like, great, but unless you are directly in their line of sight, that's going to affect their bottom line, or you're going to shift the thing that they care about, which is profit and money and shareholder value, they don't care. So the great thing is now when businesses are coming along trying to do good for the planet, good for each other, good for their staff, good for the community, so much of those are happening. So the challenge is actually for CEOs to embrace more of that and do better products and services. And for the consumer would be, don't be naive to think that your dollar doesn't matter, because the collective dollar and the collective voice, once it is aligned, becomes a pretty powerful thing, which is very, very enticing and has to be listened to, because as soon as the dollar talks, things happen real quick. I'll tell you that much.
It is interesting though, because I wonder how much pressure should be on enterprise to push this social change, environmental change, all of those things that we all want to work towards for the greater good. How much pressure is on enterprise to lead from the front in regards to that, as opposed to, I know you were saying that the power of the dollar when people put their dollars together, but that takes a long time to do it that way, right?
Yes and no, because in a competitive environment, when these corporates are going against each other, points of differences as simple as, you know, offsetting your carbon emissions on a flight, or, you know, changing from, you know, plastic to metal straws, or whatever these things may be. Collectively, when the business starts telling the better story that it's doing better for everyone else and not just the business, that starts becoming a really kind of key point of difference for these different companies. So in that respect, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
We've got one more question in here. This wasn't on our initial list, Robett. This one's a fresh one. It's from Kirk, and I'm interested to see how you answer this one. It's going to be a bit of fun.
Oh, jeez.
Kirk says, "Hi team, I would like your opinion on how to get out of a relationship so I can start another one. I'm not that happy with the part. Probably shouldn't have said his name. I'm not that happy with the partner I'm with, and with all the changes in life, I think a good time is better than a long time." From Mystery Man. You said you wanted to be a community and lifestyle show, Robett. Here you go. Here's your first curveball.
Well, we've talked like 80%, like business, and we're going to other stuff. But I think my brain went to when he's saying, "I would like your opinion on how to get out of a relationship so I can start another." I think that's everything that's wrong with that conversation, because the solution isn't jumping to the next thing. The solution for yourself should be, I mean, there's a podcast that I'm sure TT could probably tell you about.
I wonder if Kirk was listening to that chat, and that's why
you need to listen to that chat. If, in my opinion, and I mean, I'm 36, been married for 10 years. I'm starting to learn a few things. What I will say is happy wife, happy life, and you'll never win. But what I would say is when you're phrasing the question to start with by saying get out of a relationship to start another, I would just focus on you, dog. If you're not happy in your first one, I would sit down and have an adult conversation with them with what are the key things specifically that you may not be feeling good about in that relationship. Be open and transparent with it, because if it's gonna get gassed anyway, it's gonna be done. But at least maybe there's things bubbling on the other side which you may not be aware of. And I'd rather deal with the consequences of the truth than the hurtfulness of the unknown. Right? And the consequence of the truth you could be finding out by actually having that conversation. So the answer, Kurt, is not lily padding to the grass is always greener to hook up with the next. No, Kurt, no. Bad boy. It's not going to learn anything, because then you're just going to get the next one and then something's going to pop up and you're just going to lily pad again. Don't be a lily frog, dog. Stop, look yourself in the mirror, have a conversation, a tough conversation, and at least be honest with them and yourself with what's bubbling away so far. And I can almost guarantee if you had a truly honest conversation, something on the side might pop up which you may not be aware of. So I would communicate with the relationship you've got, be totally transparent. And but to answer the question is, I don't think happiness of a solution from one situation is jumping onto the next, because you're going to be bringing the baggage with you. And there. Oh man, we went Dr. Phil for a second. I thought we were talking about economy and chief economist. Next thing we know, we're trying to help Kurt stop going for on a little slaycation, making bad decisions through flipping April. Jeez, Kurt. Yeah. Oh
there
my
you go.
gosh.
I'll round it out with this one before the break, Robett.
Sure.
This is from Crystal in Auckland. No question here. Just kudos. Love your story. Love following your travels. Love learning from you, but especially love that drive to not be boxed in by boundaries. From where we came from to where we are, it just blows my mind. Good on you. Don't forget your roots, my friend. That's from Crystal.
Oh, thanks, Crystal. Appreciate it. Couple of things. One is the game is changing a little bit. You know, the boundaries. Don't be boxing by the boundaries. You know, I failed high school, failed maths, couldn't get into university. I'm not that smart of a cookie when it comes to the book stuff. But I feel that, you know, boundaries and getting put in boxes is the biggest. It held so many people back mentally with what they can and can't do. So I'm like, stuff all that noise. Appreciate it. It's kind of a good one. Appreciate that.